Hello again, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast Retro Life for You, movies of the 1980s. We are here this week as, I should say, I'm your host, Chris Adams. I'm getting ahead of myself. The host with the most. Thank you very much. Yes. Yay! And clap track.
There you go.
That sounds awful. And then we got
the other half of the dynamic duo.
Right, according to the screen, this effing guy
That's
is what
right.
it says, basically. We are here to talk about Lost Boys this week. Now, let's get it out of the way early,
There's
Travis.
been so many Peter Pan movies.
I know. That's it. And, I was thinking that same thing earlier. I was laughing when I was typing in the Lost Boys and where to watch it. I was like, what if it comes up with like Hook or something like
right.
that?
Rufio.
But yeah, let's go ahead and get it out of the way early. Fuss at me. This is the first time ever today that I've seen the Lost Boys.
I can't fuss at you for that one. Because at the time when this came out, there's a special thing. We're going to dive right into the meat of this. There's a special thing about the Lost Boys. And I don't know if I like it. The special thing about it is it kind of kicked off the sexy, cool vampire movement. It was kind of it kind of broke the mold of vampire movies that came before it and went into cool teenage, this is awesome and fun and sexy and cool. So they kind of paved the way for old Twilight and Vampire Diaries and Glitterface. So I would imagine, and I know you're not too huge and never have been too big on horror movies.
It's not that I'm not real big. Okay, now horror movies of today. I loved watching some horror movies back in the 80s because they were different kinds of horror movies. I didn't mind vampire movies; they were good. All right, I don't know why I didn't watch Lost Boys. To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have a good, legit reason as to why I never seen it. I wish I did. But I would think
I don't off the top of my head. What did this do at the box office? I said off the top of my head.
Now you want to talk about opening weekend or gross worldwide?
Gross worldwide.
So
opening weekend.
Well, the budget was $8.5 million for the budget.
That's a little impressive to me.
The opening weekend, U.S. and Canada, was 5,236,318. This is on August the 2nd, 1987. It grossed worldwide 32,515,258.
So is that low enough to be considered a cult classic? Because this has been talked about as a cult classic a lot.
I think it is. I think it was expected to make a lot more with the star power that it had.
Yeah, and only folks around my age are really crazy about it. You know what I mean? People who would now be in their late 30s to late 40s, that kind of crowd.
Yeah. If I had to say yes or no on it, I would say yes. I would say it would be considered a cult classic in my opinion, based on the fact that what it made at the box office. It did make 4 times the amount roughly of what it cost to produce it, but we talked about before, after all that money is gone to pay off everything they had to pay, there's not a lot of profit left over at the end of it.
Yeah. So it wasn't a runaway smash hit neither. So, yeah.
Right.
The cult classic Lost Boys.
Yeah. And they even brought in Lou Gramm for some music. Mm-hmm. Back at that point in time, Lou Gramm was a big name to bring in for some music. It's not not quite Kenny Loggins wise, the king of the soundtracks, but
they didn't go halfway with it, the Coreys and Kiefer and
Jason Patrick,
Diane West, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so what did you think? Since it was your first time as an adult.
Yeah, I liked it. I did. I went into thinking about it like with an open mind, being a vampire movie and the type of vampire movie that was. I was thinking, okay, we'll see how this goes because it's not like it's Bram Stoker's Dracula,
right?
It's not like that. All right, but it's still a fun movie to watch. And like you said, it kind of paved that way for the other types of the vampire-like movies coming out, where it's cool to be with a vampire. It's cool to want to be a vampire.
Yeah, they weren't. They definitely turned scary but they weren't. You know what I mean? It was like a club, man. Like if you wanted to beat them guys, it's kind of almost like around the same time. Now I don't remember if the movie came out around the same time. I think it did, but it's kind of like Nightbreed. Like when you watch Nightbreed, you kind of want to be part of that world because it's cool.
It did seem that way in a sense. This movie, Lost Boys, directed by Joel Schumacher, had writers of Jan Fisher, James Jeremies, and Jeffrey Boehm. And we mentioned some of the stars. We'll get to more of the stars in just a minute. And it's got a little brief description here, a little one-line tag here. After moving to a new town, two brothers discover the area is a haven for vampires.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll just go ahead and jump right in here.
And they're in Santa Cruz. And it's got a cool boardwalk with the fair and everything, like I always wanted to live close to, but never did.
Minus the vampires, of course.
Minus the vampires.
Minus the vampires.
No. I'd be a vampire.
Would you be a vampire?
Yeah, man. I don't understand all this. See, that's another thing too. So I read a lot of horror fiction as well. And a reoccurring theme is just being cursed with living forever. I'm like, you're a pansy. Who don't want to live forever?
In order to live forever, would you rather be a Highlander? I'm not a Highlander, but I mean an immortal, or would you rather be a vampire? Would you rather be Highlander, immortal, or would you rather be a vampire?
I'm going to say that's
Keep in mind, one. I mean, vampires, you can't be out in the daylight. So you're missing that part.
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't like daywalkers anyway. I'm
just saying, you're missing that part of your life right there.
Mm-hmm.
You can't participate in a lot of everyday stuff. If you're a Highlander immortal, you can still lead an everyday life.
Yeah, but you got to kill you got to kill other people to be stronger.
I know. Well, I mean, that's a part of the game, though. And vampires can kill other vampires if they want to. It might not make them stronger, but it doesn't make you any safer from them than it would if they wanted to kill you. Then you got the people who are vampire hunters who are looking out for you that want to kill you.
I'm gonna go with vampire.
I'm gonna go with an immortal.
I got to go with a vampire. I think back to like like in Castlevania where she's got her armor where it can't get through. I could wear a welding helmet, dress up real good, put on some SPF 90 like Frost did in Blade.
Pretty sure that wouldn't work, but we'll go.
I don't know. We'll see. It depends on what kind of vampire I am.
What kind of vampire would you be?
Well, I definitely wouldn't want to be old creepy old Nosferatu. I'd probably want to be like one of the Blade ones or something, maybe.
One of the Blade ones?
Yeah, something out of Blade's universe, maybe.
Okay.
But then you got to contend with fighting Blade.
That's true. And Blade's no joke.
I wouldn't want to be a part of Sparkly Vampire or Anne Rice's vampires, because then you got the council you got to deal with. I don't know. Anne Rice vampire might be cool. Yeah, maybe Anne Rice vampire.
Okay. All right. There we go. And for those of you who don't read Anne Rice books, I mean, how would you describe that? Because
everyone knows Interview with the Vampire, and if you don't, go watch it. It was pretty decent.
There you go.
But no, yeah, they're classic vampires, but they have a hierarchy, and they've got she has a very, very long history of them, where Akasha and I can't remember her husband's name, but Lestat woke Akasha in the tombs. He got exiled and was forced to watch over the elders. They're like the original vampires or something. But yeah, they're your average vampires.
Average vampire. Well, so you want to be an average vampire then?
Yeah.
All right. Nothing wrong with it. You just want to have the fun, the nightlife,
Yeah. Classic.
Drink a little blood.
Yep.
From the bottle, like they did.
Yeah, like they are in this movie too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So back to the movie then. We're going to go hit the cast up here. So we're going to start with Jason Patric. Jason Patric plays the role of one of the brothers, Michael.
Jason Patric.
And I think they had high hopes for Jason Patric.
Yeah.
When he came out. I mean, he had the look
mm-hmm.
that they were looking for, and they thought he could play multiple types of roles probably, and bring him in for just whatever. He debuted in 1985, a TV movie called Tough Love.
Yeah.
And went on in 86 to a movie called Solar Babies. Mm-hmm. That sounds so familiar. and I don't know why, but
I remember
first
Sleepers
big movie is Lost Boys,
for sure.
87. So now that should have set him
But
off right there, wouldn't you think?
he also was James Bowie, the man who is responsible for the Bowie knife in the Alamo movie.
Yeah, but I mean, from this point here, though, from Lost Boys, you think this might have went ahead and propelled you, pretty quickly to some other things. I mean, he
You would
went from
think.
there to do a movie called The Beast of War in 88, Teach 109, a TV movie in 89, and that's the extent of his 80s. Now, we're going to go ahead, for sake of argument here, we're going to go to the 90s because he didn't have much of the 80s to talk about.
Right.
And in 1990, a movie called Denial, After Dark, My Secret, Frankenstein, Unbound,
Oh, I've never
Rush.
seen that. I might have to go check that out. What is that? Let me go check that out.
Check that one out. Now, here's the first 90s movie that I recognize. Geronimo, an American Legend.
Geronimo. Man, I watched a movie. What was I watching? I can't remember what it was I was watching, but I was dogging it out because my man's name, and I swear I think it had to be dubbed. But my guy's name was, it was clearly Spanish, like Hispanic, but they were calling him, it was Josie. It was Josie. They were calling him Josie.
Okay.
Jose. That's what it was. They called him Jose. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? It's Jose. Crazies.
Yo, Jose.
Yeah, like
What's up?
like Hieronimo. So like
Geronimo.
Hieronimo.
Geronimo.
Geronimo.
So, I mean, there's Geronimo, the American Legend. All right. Now, if you move it up a little bit, The Journey of August King, then we got Sleepers in 96. And then we got Speed 2, Cruise Control.
Well, I'm going to watch it because Raul Julia plays Victor Frankenstein. But the Frankenstein movie looks horrible.
Yeah. I didn't sound like anything I want to see.
I'm probably going to check it out anyway.
There's what you mentioned, the Alamo. I'm just skipping up to a few things now. I see that. Played its own self in the Entourage series, cameos or something.
No.
I mean, I'm sure there's movies in this list I'm looking at that some people out there may have seen in the later 2000 years, between 2010 and 2020. But none of them really sound familiar to me, to be honest. I mean,
not a lot.
He has done some work, no doubt. But I mean, I don't think he is what they may have thought he was to begin with when he first hit the scene.
Yeah, he didn't take off. He didn't skyrocket to superstardom like I think they were expecting.
Right. I'm gonna jump down to the. We'll go over to the other brother here.
And honestly, you could tell he was early in his acting career. It was very, very obvious how much more. Maybe it's just God-gifted talent or how much more seasoned or whatever, but Kiefer Sutherland just in their scenes together, you could just totally see what a better actor he was.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, Kiefer Sutherland, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll get to him in a minute. We'll see when his debut was. We'll check that. We'll compare.
Oh, Doc.
That's right.
She's my flower, and that's what a butterfly to the flower. You guys see the size of that chicken?
That was Dirty Steve, though, wasn't it?
That was.
I was.
He was sitting there talking about the flowers while they were shooting. He was shooting the gun.
Hey, well, we got some Young Gun quotes for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, because Kiefer Sutherland, one of our favorite things with his was Young Guns,
for sure.
So we're going here to the other brother now. Played by Corey Haim. He plays Sam.
The other brother
from the same mother.
Mm-hmm.
He got around in the 80s a little bit. I mean, I'll give you an idea of some of his earlier work.
Passed around.
For those, he passed around too, probably.
Oh.
It debuted in 84, a movie called Firstborn. Had 10 episodes of a TV series called The Edison Twins. 85, Secret Admirer. And 85, also, he had his first big break, I think it was, as Silver Bullet.
Yeah.
Silver Bullet. It's
I don't even remember
movie.
that.
Oh, really? Movie, wasn't it?
Oh, I got to watch it. No, I hadn't seen that one.
I'm pretty sure it's werewolf.
We got some horror movies I hadn't seen.
Oh,
I wanted to pick out something like this one day that neither one of us have seen.
Well, how about we do? Well, I tell you what, we'll talk about Silver Bullet later. But I mean, I mean, it's a little old. It's 85, and it's a horror movie. We don't have that many horror movies under our belt anyway. So,
I love me some horror.
also in 85, he did A Time to Live TV movie and Murphy's Romance as well.
Murphy's Romance. Did that have old Murphy Brown in it?
You know, I want to
Sally Field and
for
James
some
Garner.
reason. Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like James Garner movies.
I might have to watch this.
You might like it.
Yeah, I think I would. I love Sally Field, and James Garner is hilarious without being a comedian hilarious.
Yeah, this has something to do with a ranch in it as well. It takes place on a farm or a ranch.
Ah, boy.
So it's been a while since I've seen it. I've seen it like once, I think.
Okay.
But now after Murphy's Romance, there's his next biggest movie that from the 80s that early on that people think about it in Lucas.
When I think of him, the first one I think of is License to Drive.
Because it's one of the funniest, because it's one of the funniest movies.
Yeah, and I think I saw that probably before I saw The Lost Boys. So I think that's the first thing I ever saw Corey Haim in.
I'll tell you what, I'm gonna finish off his 80s real quick here, and I'm gonna tell you a couple of them for everybody to take a look at if you haven't seen them yet. So we stopped at Lucas in 86. We have
you got to stop after License to Drive though. Hang on just a second. Okay, do License to Drive in 88.
Well, no, we got Lost Boys in 87. We got License to Drive in 88.
And then we had Travis in the Dean Koontz novel brought over to movie The Watchers.
You just want to say that because it's your name, didn't you?
Yeah, and it was in the book too. Like that was one of my favorite books by him. It's got a genius dog in it. The movie doesn't even come close to the book. But I love the movie just because I'm a fanboy and I get happy whenever anything of something that I love from literature comes to the movies or you know. So I was happy for that one. The Watchers, it's still a cool movie. It just doesn't touch the book.
I loved the movie when I saw it, but I haven't read the book. I have to look for the book now.
Yeah,
Dream a Little Dream.
Hang on just a second. I want to go back to that for just a second.
Yeah.
Did he have the Scrabble tiles for Einstein? The dog, remember the golden retriever?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, in the book, it was all he had made like a little dispenser thing to where, and he was a little bit older in the book too. But the dog could spell out stuff with Scrabble tiles. He'd walk up and he'd hit the little lever with his paw, and then the Scrabble tile would fall out for a corresponding letter. And so he could spell stuff kind of like Stephen Hawking. So, but no, it's an awesome book and good movie.
Which it's also one of the movies I was going to recommend if you haven't watched of an early Corey Haim movie. Make sure you watch that one. One movie I will not recommend to you, however, is that trash movie Dream a Little Dream.
Never seen that one.
Well, you're not missing anything. It's got him and the other Corey in it, and it's really not worth a hoot. So don't worry about that one. But he did it though. Now, we move on up now. So one more ago, I said recommend a few movies.
Mm-hmm.
One of his earlier movies, and Lucas, young kid, wants to get the girl and trying to impress her and everything. He's got the girl from the Goonies in it. One that played Andy in the Goonies.
Which one? Dream a Little Dream?
No, Lucas.
Oh, Lucas. Okay.
Yeah, and of course, there's the bigger kid always trying to push his way past him. I don't know if he's bullied. I can't remember if he's bullied or not, but he, it's just he's the small kid and he's trying to get the girl, and it was just a kind of a fun movie for him. Silver Bullet is a great movie for a horror movie. You would like it because he does a pretty good job in that.
Cool, but Dream a Little Dream is his rhinestone.
For me it is, especially 80. Well, as far as 80s movies go. As far as that goes, Lost Boys obviously good. License to Drive is awesome. It's his best movie in the 80s, in my opinion. Better than Lost Boys. I'll say it's better than Lost Boys. It's better than Watchers.
For him.
For me. That's my opinion on it.
I was meaning for Corey.
Oh, for him then. Okay, well, I was going to say in my opinion though, that's definitely License to Drive is the movie of his from the 80s you got to watch if anything else.
Yeah, I would agree.
Now, he had a few movies in the 90s that wasn't so quite mainstream. That was still decent. Fast Getaway.
They did a sequel to your trash movie.
I know they did. That's why I said I don't know how they get away with it. It's not good.
Oh, you watched it too?
No.
Oh, okay.
Why would
I
I
was
watch the
gonna
other
say,
one?
that's
Why
what
would
I
I
was going
watch
to
the
ask.
second one if I didn't like the first one at
That's
all?
what I was going to ask. I was setting you up.
Man, no, the sequel was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's got the Corey. Let me tell you. No. So Fast Getaway was decent. Blown Away as another that's the TV movie. I remember it being out. I didn't really care for it too much, but some people like
You
it.
saw all his movies.
I've seen a bunch of movies coming up now.
I'm talking
can't
about
say I've
all of
seen it.
Corey's movies.
No, I
You
ain't seen all of his.
You didn't have a Tiger Beat poster on your wall, did you?
No, I did not. No. if it was, it wasn't Corey Haim. But no, I remember Tiger Beat though. I do.
Yeah.
Fast Getaway 2, decent because Fast Getaway 1 was pretty good. And then from there, he has an uncredited part in Batman and Robin. Did you know that?
Okay, that's the first one since Watchers that I've seen.
Batman and Robin.
I might have seen Fast Getaway.
Yeah, Fast Getaway was decent. I think it had Cynthia Rothrock in it too.
Yeah,
but Batman and Robin was uncredited. He was a biker gang member, so you probably would have noticed him anyway. Looking.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, he was a burglar in Wishmaster 2.
Yeah. So all in all, his career went on the downside because he started getting into drugs and everything as well. He was starting to have a little bit of tougher time. And unfortunately for him, he did pass away at an early age too.
Yes.
So
rest in peace, Mr. Corey.
Rest in peace.
He had a whirlwind of a childhood for sure.
Oh no, that's true. He did. There's no doubt. And he was, and like I said, we say the Coreys. He was popular because he was like best friends with Corey Feldman.
Right.
And both of them they did all kinds of movies together. Both of them were in License to Drive.
Yeah.
Both did The Dream a Little Dream. Both were in The Lost Boys.
That, and they were all over MTV and
yeah.
VH1 and all the teeny bopper stuff that was going on. We called teeny bopper back then.
Yeah.
That was going on.
Well, let's go to the mother, Diane Weist or Diane Weist.
I've always heard it said Diane West because I know her. Like I recognize her from a bunch of stuff.
Is the I silent?
It might be. I don't know. I don't know. It's another one we just don't know about.
Is this like Bubba J and his dog Doug?
Could be.
But instead of Doug, he calls him Dog.
Yeah.
Said, how do you spell that? He says D-O-U-G. They said, well, that's Doug. He said, the U is silent.
Mm-hmm. My mom's dog that just passed away, his name was D-O-G.
D-O-G?
Yeah, dog. But you
D-O-G.
just spell it out. D-O-G.
It hit me when I said it out loud.
Yeah, D-O-G. I was like, that's actually a cool name. D-O-G.
I mean, we had a cat for years, and our cat's name was Cat. Well,
there you go.
Because we called him Gato.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
I always wanted a turtle to name it Dog, like on Tasmania.
Get you a pig for a pet like Billy Bob in Varsity Blues.
Ah, there we go.
I love that dog.
I love that dog.
Billy Bob, I think he's a pig. He goes,
pet that dog. Pet that dog. Hey, before we go through her movies, what's the first thing you remember her from?
Footloose.
Oh, really? Dang. Okay. That got me. You know what mine is?
What?
Edward Scissorhands.
I never watched Edward Scissorhands.
The hell you say?
I didn't want to.
Oh my God.
It looks so stupid.
It is. It's a terribly awesome movie. Or
to this day.
No. It's awesomely terrible.
But to this day, man, I will not watch that movie.
What
and look, it's one of the movies they got her listed as being known for is Edward Scissorhands. Edward Scissorhands, The Birdcage.
What if our emails get flooded and you have to watch an Edward Scissorhands movie, even though it's 1990?
I would watch Rhinestone before I watch Edward Scissorhands.
Oh my God. Y'all, we have to flood the emails. I'm going to start a petition. I'm going to put this on Facebook. Which movie should Chris watch?
I tell you, I would, just because it's got Stallone in, I would watch Rhinestone before I would watch the Edward Scissorhands.
Edward Scissorhands is awesome, though. It is.
I'm not a huge Johnny Depp fan.
You don't have to be.
I mean,
it's silly, and which Tim Burton made it that way. It goes from being his normal dark, twisted stuff, merging into the 50s. Everything's pastel and the same color and cookie cutter houses, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
and it's almost like you could see Lydia, like, because Winona Ryder plays in it, it's almost like you can see shades of Lydia. You know what I mean? Like he turns her to Lydia or something.
Well, obviously she's been around for quite a while, right?
Yes.
She is we'll go to her 80s. That's what we do here.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. But her first movie in 1980 is It's My Turn. And I'm not going to put all these out there because I don't know if everybody knows all the movies or not. But I mean, some of the highlights here in 83, when we have a movie called Independence Day in 83, I had to double look at that because I said
I was just looking at that. Yeah.
And I was like, no, she wasn't Independence Day. I was like,
I know.
It's not the same one. Footloose, like I said, the first one I knew her from. She played Vi, the pastor's wife.
Yep.
Yeah, the Purple Rose of Cairo, Falling in Love. Hannah and Her Sisters is one she's well known for.
I was fixing to say that's in my queue to watch. Actually,
is it?
Yeah, that's the one that I was trying to remember the other day. That had Michael Caine all young at the daggum dinner.
Oh, is that the one?
That's the one when we were doing Dirty Rotten Scandals.
Okay.
Scoundrels. It was Hannah and Her Sisters. Michael Caine's actually got brown hair. It's got him and Woody Allen and a couple other folks in it. But yeah, that's in my queue. That's actually in my queue to watch. I just haven't done it yet.
Well, obviously she was in Lost Boys. We're bringing it up now. Bright Lights, Big City, and Parenthood in '89.
Cookie. What's Cookie?
Now, if you go past that in the 90s, she's some more notable things there. Little Man Tate, Cops and Robertsons, The Scout, Bullets Over Broadway. She played in the TV series Avonlea, The Birdcage. She was in that. The Horse Whisperer. You know, I mean, she's definitely got a good career under her belt there. So nothing to be ashamed of on that. In the 80s, another podcast.
Cookie? You didn't mention Cookie.
I didn't mention Cookie. No, I did not. I don't know what Cookie is.
Cookie. It's a racketeer. He's on parole and he's attempting to connect with his rebellious teenage daughter.
Oh, was he try to give her a cookie?
I don't know. I guess that's her name. Her name's Cookie. And Diane is Miss Lenore. I guess that's supposed to be a mama or something. Get it from a mama. I just wanted to say Cookie because anytime I hear something that sounds like Sookie, I don't know. Have you ever watched True Blood?
Oh my gosh, here we go.
The way Bill says Sookie.
Yeah. Sookie.
So I just imagine her daddy got out of prison and was like, I would never do anything to hurt you, Cookie.
You know, I liked True Blood when it first came out.
Man, I love True Blood.
And then it just awesome. Then it got away from me.
It gets real stupid, but it's still good. It was really stupid from the get-go, to be honest, but I love it.
Yeah. All right. Oh, also before I go past her, another podcast that I listen to sometimes had her voted as Mom of the 80s.
For sure.
So if you're thinking of movies and you're thinking
movie Mom of the 80s and 90s because she was what's my little brother's named after him. Not after him. He's actually named after a guy we knew his last name, but Little Man Tate.
Yeah, Little Man Tate.
And then Cops and Robertsons. And like she did so much stuff. She was Aunt Jet in Practical Magic, which I love. That's a chick fest. Practical Magic is a straight up chick flick, and it's from the 90s, but it's awesome. I love Practical Magic.
I definitely did not mention Practical Magic a while ago. I must have skipped over that one, but I went on down some more of her 90s and everything. And yeah, she, like I said, she goes into the 2000s and after that pretty well up until today.
I am Sam. Never go full retard, man.
The Mayor of Kingstown, is that the Jeremy Renner series?
I don't know.
I think that she plays in that. Miriam McCluskey's her name. She played in that 20 episodes. So
I don't know, but I'm in full
2023.
I'm in full ADD right now because I just thought about RDJ because she was Annie and I Am Sam. The talk he had. Remember with Ben? He like, remember? I Am Sam, 2001. Got passed right over. Because he said he named all the other things like Rain Man, autistic, maybe a little, but no, not retarded. But he said he went full retard, man. I hated I Am Sam. I thought it was a terrible movie, to be honest with you.
I didn't watch it either.
It's terrible.
I'm real picky on some of the movies, the types of movies I'll watch.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly an action and comedy kind of guy, sports movies. Yeah, I mean, I'll catch the occasional other one if it's like some dramas here and there. But,
Understandable.
The guy played Grandpa. Did you? I mean, I was thinking if I know him from anything else, and I can't think of anything else that I've actually seen him in. So I don't think he's in any type of movie that I like to watch him. But I'm about to look at it and find out if I recognize any of his other work. Now, actually, the name Barnard Hughes kind of stands out, but when I look at him, he's not the guy I'm thinking.
Right.
But,
Yeah, because see, I know exactly who you're thinking of too.
Oh, I know where I know him from. I know where I know him from.
It's his picture that makes him look like the other guy, but he don't look like that guy at all.
I know where I know him from now, though.
Was it
Sister Act 2?
Okay, he was Father Maurice.
Yep, Sister Act 2. So I told
but he does. His photo on here does look like the other guy, though. I know exactly who you're thinking of. But he's not been in a bunch, old Bernard.
Well, I'm down in the 80s right now looking at his stuff. We've got starting around 1980. We've got him.
Well, he's been in but he's an older actor, so yeah, he has actually been in a ton of stuff. Not stuff that. Yeah,
a lot of older TV stuff as well. But you get in the 80s, you got Homeward Bound, the TV movie. You got the TV series Mr. Merlin. He was in Tron in 1982, the original Tron.
Oh yeah.
Movie called Best Friends, which I believe is Goldie Hawn and Burt Reynolds.
Maybe.
Or Goldie Hawn and somebody else. Tales from the Dark Side, TV series.
Is it Tom Selleck?
I can't tell. Yeah, I saw the cover and I wasn't quite
it's
sure.
Burt. It's Burt.
It looked like Burt Reynolds. It looked like him.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, every time I think Burt Reynolds now, I always think of
Where Are the Children? I know, I refrain from asking you how much you loved Norm Macdonald's Burt Reynolds. Like,
sure, that's not my name.
It's not my name.
Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
He does a good one just to be funny, though. He really does.
Yeah, it's in no way is it even close to Burt Reynolds, but
no,
it's hilarious the way he does it.
All right, so we got Lost Boys once again. Past that. Doc Hollywood, he was in that. He was in the TV movie Lincoln. Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit. He's in the TV series of Blossom for 52 episodes.
Oh wow, who was he in Blossom?
Buzz Richmond.
I don't remember. Well, I didn't watch a lot of Blossom either, so
I didn't either. But that's why I don't remember because I didn't watch a whole. I watched some of it, but not a lot of it.
Yeah.
Gosh, there we go with a lot of TV stuff back after that. Cradle Will Rock in a movie in 1999. The Odd Couple 2.
Cool.
Then after 2004, I don't see anything. So he must have retired or passed away. Let's see. He passed away in 2006. So July 11th, 2006.
Okay.
Good career, though. Definitely good career.
Rock and roll.
Edward Herrmann played Max.
Mm-hmm.
I was suspicious of him from the get-go and some things because he was so forward to the mother and,
right.
seen her and everything. And I was like, well, I mean, maybe he's just, that's how he is. It's his personality. He's hitting on her and stuff. And I would tell you something that kind of got me suspicious of him when he got to the house to come visit the first time. And Jason Patrick has already met up with the vampire gang of people, whatever. But when this guy gets there, he's talking to him and he goes, well, are you going to invite me in?
Right.
And when he said that, the first thought I had was, yeah, you got to invite a vampire in.
Exactly.
And then they did all the stuff to him, all the tricks to him. I thought, okay, well, so he's not. And that was just they put it there to throw you off, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go back to this guy later in the show here. Okay. We're just going to leave it at that. Well, he goes there for dinner and Corey Haim and then the two vampire killer kids, Corey Feldman and the other one, they try all kinds of tricks like holy water and whatever, the mirror,
garlic and all that stuff.
Yeah, they try all this stuff and nothing works on him. So they're like, well, he can't be the guy then.
Right.
But he had me suspicious from the get-go, and then it's like they cleared his name, and then we'll get to it. We'll get to in the end what turned around with him and everything. But
yeah.
Now he's one of those people that to me, I can, just like the older guy, I don't recognize him from anything, but he's been in other stuff. He was in Overboard. He was in Annie. He was in Nixon. And that's just a few movies that he's known for.
Wasn't he the dad in Gilmore Girls?
I never watched the Gilmore Girls, so I don't know.
I think he was the dad in Gilmore Girls.
I know he was. It says here he was an Aviator in 2004, I believe it was.
Oh, great movie.
So to get down to the 90s,
about
Howard, to the 80s. I mean,
Aviator was about Howard Hughes.
Good movie called Harry's War, Reds, and 81. Is an episode of MASH. It looks like we have Annie, Memorial Day, a TV movie, Purple Rose of Cairo, The Man with One Red Shoe, Compromising Positions, St. Elsewhere, the TV series.
Yep.
American Playhouse TV series, Laughter in the Dark, the Lawrenceville Stories, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and we got The Lost Boys, we got Overboard, we got Big Business, we got Hot House, we got So Proudly We Hail, and then he just jumps from there into the 90s, and it's, you know, for me, it's there's a few here and there I've heard of, but I don't know his character name. So
yeah,
and some of them I've seen, and I wouldn't be able to pick him out of the movie for nothing. Like Richie Rich, he was Richie Rich Senior. I didn't know that. I didn't remember that.
I wonder if any friends of the show would recognize him.
Well, there is only one person that I can think of who tends to recognize all the names that I do not.
Yeah.
You know what his name is, by the way?
Maybe it's Tim.
Just had the man on the show with us recently. That is correct. We're talking Tim and 80s Flicks Flashback.
Hey,
so, go ahead and take a listen to this for us real quick. And if you don't remember Tim, we will refresh your memory with this right here. And there we go. That's Tim and 80s Flicks Flashbacks. Very fun show to listen to. I got a few episodes coming up I'm going to do with him again. Where we're going to discuss some things. And if Travis didn't work like 800 hours in a week, I could drag him along with me too. But, you know, he
That's
just
true.
Works some more. Than matter of fact, you look up work in the dictionary, there's a picture of Travis going.
That's probably accurate, to be honest.
He's right there going, it's me. All right, back to the cast of people. We're starting with some of the good ones. We got Kiefer Sutherland playing the lead vampire there, David. Now we were going to check him out and see when his career started. We were comparing him to Jason Patrick and his way he acts and everything. How he seemed more seasoned. So getting down toward.
He started in 1983 with Max Dugan Returns.
So he's not far off from Jason.
He's
Patrick,
not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and The Lost Boys was his 9th movie. Right, coming off of the heels of Stand By Me, which was awesome.
Do you think maybe that since his father was an established actor,
Donald,
that kind of helped a little bit? Maybe he had some more lessons at early age and stuff.
More than likely, I would imagine 100%. Because Donald Sutherland too he's also one of the old school greats.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Max Dugan Returns is his first one. I don't see too other many things until you get to Stand By Me that really stands out to me. He had some TV movies he did, other stuff like that, but Stand By Me, he played Ace Merrill. Then you got Lost Boys, which is his next big thing after that. And then you jump from there in the 80s, you got Promised Land, The Killing Time, Crazy Moon, Bright Lights, Big City. I did not know he was in that. However, the movie of the 80s that he was in, the movie.
Those four, but hey, check this out. But between those four, you got The Lost Boys and then the one you're about to do. Those four, I don't remember any of those.
I don't either.
It's like he was.
I remember Bright Lights and Big City. I didn't know he was in it though.
Oh, okay.
That's a Michael J. Fox movie.
Wow, dude, that's all of those came out in 87. 1, 2, 3, 4. He had 4 movies that came out in 1987.
And only one of them was notable, really.
That's crazy.
Then you got Young Guns, our favorite in 88.
1988, old Doc Scurlock.
Doc Scurlock. 1969 is the movie in 1988. And 89 is probably my I don't know if I would call that my second favorite movie of his or my third favorite. That's since I watched Lost Boys today.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It would have been
This
my
one's
second favorite before now, but maybe the Lost Boys might have jumped up in there as well.
that
But it's
one's
got
way
Renegades.
down on that one's way down on my list.
Did you see Renegade?
Yes, I've watched it because of you.
Because of me?
Yeah, when we were talking about the movie when we did the Young Guns show.
Oh, you watched it when we did Young Guns. Okay, so because Renegade, we ain't done a show on Renegades yet.
Nuh-uh, but we've talked about Kiefer Sutherland a fair bit.
Yeah, and that's him and Lou Diamond Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I know. Now, after that, Kiefer's been all over the place. I mean, star of the TV series, a popular TV series of 24.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people love that show. Young Guns 2, again, is Doc Scurlock.
And see, Flatliners is going to be Young Guns 1 and 2 are going to be 1 and 2, and then and then I'm gonna have to say Flatliners might be my second favorite. It's going to be a toss up between that or Dark City.
I mean, if you're going for his career, his role in A Few Good Men as Second Lieutenant Jonathan Kendrick was pretty good.
Yeah,
and that's a great movie. I love it. Playing Athos. Three Musketeers.
Yeah, Athos.
So I like their version of Three Musketeers also.
It was good.
I did.
And that was wasn't that? But 1 minute. Oh yeah, no. Okay, yeah. Because that's the one that had he played Robin in Batman Forever. Chris O'Donnell.
Mm-hmm.
He was like the young musketeer coming in.
Yeah, you had Charlie Sheen and Oliver Platt.
Yeah, that was the first Three Musketeers when they did it with like total action. It was really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, Oliver Platt played Porthos.
He played in A Time to Kill as Freddie Lee Cobb.
Mm-hmm.
Movie Eye for an Eye, which was a Sally Field movie.
Mm-hmm.
We recently had talked about her with Steel Magnolias.
Yeah,
my sister's house today.
A phenomenal movie as well.
Look, I was at my sister's house today for my niece's birthday, and she wanted to have my niece wanted to have hamburgers and baked potatoes. She said so. She cooked some stuff forward and invited us over there, and so we brought up how my niece does not know anything about any good 80s movies. She refuses to watch them, and we said, well, my sister's like, well, what about? She don't know Footloose. She don't know Dirty Dancing. She don't know Steel Magnolias. And that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And she don't know that one. And I started laughing. I saw Steel Magnolias recently, and I watched it for the first time.
Yeah.
But here we are talking about Sally Field earlier in another movie as well.
And then it was your sister's favorite movie?
It's one of her favorite movies.
That's pretty cool.
So, and I did not see Dark City. You mentioned Dark City a while ago. I haven't seen it.
Dark City is awesome. Dark City is one where they like he don't have memory. Like he can't remember. Like he remembers, but he can't remember his past. And it's like it's something to do with your dreams and stuff. I can't remember a whole ton about it, but it's the strangers, and I don't remember. They put during your dreams or something. They like change the city around or something, and then like your life gets turned around different. But it's got Jennifer Connelly and let's see, it was William Hurt, and I can never remember the guy's name, but he's awesome. He played the he was the butthole in A Knight's Tale. The other guy I'm thinking of. Hang on, I'm gonna click on it. It's Rufus.
The one who was weighed and measured.
Yeah, you've been weighed, you've been measured, and found wanting. Rufus Sewell. I can't believe his name, Rufus. What have you got in them homemade mustard pretzel?
Rufus.
But yeah, Dark City's awesome, man. It's one of those weird, twisted type things that somebody like Neil Gaiman would be involved with. It's like it's kind of out there, but that's right up my alley.
Do you remember when they redid Flatliners in 2017?
Yeah, I watched it. It was decent.
He was in that movie. He's Dr. Barry Wolfson.
Oh, he was, yeah.
Dude, yeah, you forgot about that one, right? I know I did.
I did.
Different character, obviously, but it's a throwback. And just to say, hey, he was in this one, playing a different role in it. But that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I forgot all about that.
Next, Jamie Gertz. She's one of them people who had a lot of great potential. She was very pretty when she was out, when she was younger.
We had
Yeah,
a weatherman on News Channel 4 in Greenville named Charlie Gertz.
Really?
And yeah, he'd do the weather drunk in the 80s. He'd be on there drunk as hell on TV. Charlie Gertz.
Oh my gosh.
I swear to God. He owned one of the bars downtown.
What's the earliest thing you remember seeing Jamie Gertz in? What's the first thing you saw her in? Was it Lost Boys?
Probably, unless there was, yeah, I'm gonna say Lost Boys, because I'm gonna say that's the first thing. Yeah, they're in Jersey Girl.
First thing I seen her in, since I didn't see Lost Boys.
Renegades.
I mean, all right, let me say first thing I seen her in that I knew who she was in. Let me say that.
Mhm.
Because I've seen 16 Candles. She plays a character called Robin, but I didn't know that was her. I've seen Mischief in 85. She played Rosalie. I didn't know that was her. Gosh, we got there's Less Than Zero. That's the first movie I knew who she was in.
Okay. Well, okay. So knew who she was, and it would be I recognized her from the Lost Boys. Would be the doctor in Twister.
Well, that was a good ways past though. Past even
It was,
Wow.
but that was the first time I was like, "Hey, that's the girl from the Lost Boys."
Jersey Girl. Was that the one with Ben Affleck in it?
No, this is older than that.
That's
I
a different
think.
one. But there's a
Yeah,
he
because
was
the
a
one
movie-
with Ben Affleck in it didn't that have Liv Tyler?
yeah,
The one I'm thinking of had Liv Tyler in it.
yeah.
No, this was her and Dylan McDermott.
Okay. Yeah, Twister was in '96. So yeah, seeing her, and then I remember her as Dr. Melissa Reeves. We got a cow.
We got a cow,
There's another cow. I'm like, no, I think it's the same one.
right?
It's coming back around.
And then what? Ally McBeal.
I didn't watch Ellen McBeal. Didn't watch that. I didn't see her in anything again after Twister.
Oh, well.
I mean, but then again, she's probably doing TV series and movies that I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I'm
She
looking
might-
on here. She did things I didn't watch. I wasn't into or anything. So I mean, but she stayed working for sure.
That, and she wasn't that much. It's kind of like the big baddie that we went over a while ago. She wouldn't have been one of the stars that came, or her or Jason, the first guy, Jason. They
Jason
wouldn't.
Patrick? Mhm.
Yeah, they wouldn't be. They didn't garnish the stardom, the star power to make me say, "Hey, she was in this movie. I'm going to watch it."
So, just to touch on them real quick. We'll do some real quick. Then we're just going to kind of skip over a couple others. Corey Feldman is one of your vampire hunters. The Frog brothers.
The Frog
there.
brothers.
Edgar and Alan Frog. The other one was Jameson Newlander. Now, for some reason, he reminded me of somebody else in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a Seth Green kind of feel to him. Although it wasn't Seth Green because it's way too early to be him.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
Corey Feldman, just like Corey Haim, big career in the '80s.
Yeah.
I'd say if I had to say, I'd almost say he had a better career.
Oh, for sure. Well, he was a little bit, wasn't he a little bit older too? I know he started working a little sooner anyway.
He may have started working earlier than Corey Haim, but they became friends pretty quick after both of them being out. But I think Corey Feldman had a better career, especially early on.
For sure.
You see the movies that he did. I mean, he did a lot of TV stuff, popular TV series, right?
Yep.
To get past the TV series, in '81, he was the voice of young Copper in Fox and the Hound.
Yup.
So he was that. He was in the next movie he did. I don't want to skip past it. Here's a lot of TV series. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. That was in '84. He did Gremlins
in '82. That was okay. TV movie. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. I skipped over the TV movies and then the
I was
TV,
gonna say he was Corey Cleaver and Still the Beef.
Still the Beaver.
But that was a TV movie though.
A TV movie, yeah. And
Yeah.
then a lot of other small things, Cheers and Madam's Place and New Leave It to Beaver, and he played Corey Kip Cleaver.
He was Pete in Gremlins.
Yeah, that's why I was getting to that one. He was in Gremlins, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. He was barely in that one, I think. And then, of course, his biggest thing in the 80s he did was what?
The Goonies. Hey, you guys.
Yep, The Goonies. Now, some people may say Stand By Me was a bigger movie than that. I
Hell
thought
no.
The Goonies, I don't think so. Goonies was a bigger movie.
Stand By Me is awesome, but Stand By Me is not even close to The Goonies.
No. They had Lost Boys, License to Drive, The Burbs, that awful Dream a Little Dream
The
movie.
Burbs was great. He was Ricky in The Burbs. He was the one telling Tom Hanks that the messed up stuff was going down.
Yeah, he was the voice of
Burbs is
Donatello.
great. If y'all haven't seen The Burbs, y'all need to watch The Burbs. I love The Burbs.
He was the voice of Donatello in the Ninja Turtles.
Yep. Have you seen The Burbs?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. I've seen it.
I love The Burbs.
You love The Burbs.
The Burbs. It was good.
Says here he was a bank robber in Maverick. So
yeah. Remember we talked about that.
He's the other bank robber with Danny Glover.
Yeah. We talked about that when we did it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, he had a good. I like his earlier career, but now in '96, this was a fun movie he did in '96 with Dennis Miller.
Mm-hmm.
And Angie, I forget, she's a model. Angie Everhart, I think it was, or something like that.
Angie Everhart was a model.
Bordello of Blood.
No, that movie's great. That movie is wonderful. Dennis Miller's. Although, from the two Tales of the Crypt movies, Dark Knight, or no, what was it? Night. Oh, man. Anyway, the other one that's got Billy Zane in it is the better of the two. This one came out after that one. Bordello of Blood, I mean. Yeah. The one with Billy Zane in it is the better of the two.
So that was pretty much, in my opinion, after you get past Bordello of Blood, to me, that's the end of his career. He's got other things he's been in and done, but at that point, he has taken on the persona that he's no longer Corey Feldman. He's actually Michael Jackson, where he left off at. So thinks he thought he could sing, put an album out, still thinks he can sing, has another album out.
Oh, really?
Still has the same Michael Jackson look that he had when he was relevant.
Didn't he start doing all the, didn't he start the beginning of outing people in Hollywood and stuff right about that time too?
He is a part of that, yes, because he was definitely mistreated during his upcoming in Hollywood and everything. Mm-hmm. And that's a bad thing. That he's having to relive a lot of that in his head, and he's telling everybody though. He's putting it out.
No, he's outing it, man. I mean, it's a good thing to let people know though, because he's like I guess you would almost call it a whistleblower, but he's been doing that for years, trying to take up for the mistreatment of young people and all the sex stuff that they were basically forced to be involved in. And that's one of the reasons that him and Corey became such friends too, is because I think it was Feldman said that he had a better support system than Corey did. Like Corey was kind of thrown to the wolves.
Yeah. Yep. And there's only one other name I'm going to toss out there, and the rest of them we're going to skip on over because they're just kind of, minor to me at this point. Mm-hmm. But Alex Winter, and the main other thing I know him from is being one half of the Wild Stallions.
That's right. We are the Wild Stallions.
So he was Bill. Was he Bill? He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill S. Preston Esquire.
Mm-hmm.
That was him.
Ted Theodore, whatever. Logan.
Ted Theodore Logan.
Yeah.
He was in a few other things too, other than just Bill and Ted now.
Oh, sure, yeah. Well, he was in one of the Death Wish movies too.
Oh, no, was he? I did not know that.
Yeah, my dad watched all the Death Wish movies. I remember them from a kid.
I remember looking at him earlier, seeing about some of the things he had done. Of course, you had Lost Boys. You had Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
mm-hmm.
Bogus Journey, a movie called Freaked.
The Borrowers.
There was another movie.
Such a great movie.
I had on my mind. Maybe it was Haunted Summer. It may have been Haunted Summer. I see. Okay, Death Wish 3 he was in. I see that now.
Yeah.
But anywho, Um,
Yeah.
so as far as the movie goes with you, any favorite parts of the movie just stand out to you that you liked a lot?
Oh man, there's quite a few earmuffs when grandpa, when they drove through the thing, they drove the Jeep or whatever through the side of the house, and he was like, "Goddamn vampires." It was like, and then the part where they were hanging from the bottom of the train tracks, I love that part. The part where they were talking trash in the comic book store or whatever, on the it was the two Corys. That, I mean, there's quite a few that's pretty cool. But I would say my favorite scenes of the movie would, yeah, it would have to be it's kind of funny when he first started flying and he was standing in front of the window and his little brother was like, "Oh, yeah," and he wouldn't let him in. But I think the one where they're hanging from the railroad tracks and they drop down, you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh, initiation's over. It's time to join the club." And then they drop and they're all laughing and they're like, "Come on, Michael."
Yeah.
I think that might be my favorite part.
This is the first movie that the two Corys starred in together.
Right.
You think I'm from Canada or something with some weird accent?
Right there. Them boys right there.
Their very first movie that they starred in together. We'll get it right here now. What else do we have on them here?
Well, you have the fact that Corey starred in at least one of the sequels. Because
I wanted to ask you about that.
Know it or not?
I wanted to ask you about that. Put that up there.
Yeah, there are 2 sequels to this movie that are out, and there have been talks about doing yet another. And he was Edgar in both of them. You've got Lost Boys: The Tribe, and then Lost Boys: The Thirst. And to be honest with you, both of them are decent. Like I watched both of them and I like them both. The Tribe came out in 2008, and then The Thirst came out in 2010 off the heels of The Tribe because it did decent, I think. And they, like I said, they've been talking since 2021 about doing another one. But it would be a complete reimagine. It wouldn't be a sequel to it. It'd be a reimagining of it.
I think one of the parts I liked about it was what I wanted to get to earlier, but I didn't want to get to it just then. I wanted to wait till we got further into it. Was when the I think his name was Herman or something like that, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The boss. He comes back to the house at the end of it. He's with the mom,
right?
And come to find out that he is the big bad vampire. Wasn't Kiefer Sutherland like everybody thought it was?
Right.
He was killed. And none of them, the rest of them that are alive, notice the difference. They don't feel anything different. So it couldn't have been him. And then he comes in and sees everything going on. And I'm like, oh wait, that wasn't a swerve earlier. They just they told you to tell you right out. They show you he's asking permission to come in. Yeah. Now that you get permission, you can't do anything to him.
Yeah, Herman was his real name. He was Max.
Max, okay.
And Kiefer was David. And who'd you have? Marco, Dwayne, David, Paul, Edgar, Max, Sam, Michael. They didn't never say Grandpa's name, did they?
I just kept calling him Grandpa, I think.
Yeah. And there was Joel another Schumacher. Frog brother. I missed a frog brother.
There was only 2 I remember seeing.
Yeah, but I only remember Edgar. I don't remember the other one's name.
Oh, I said it earlier. I didn't forget what it is now too.
But anyway,
Joel Schumacher simply he was asked why he did the film, and he simply stated vampires are hot. They're the only erotic monsters. As Frankenstein is not hot,
right?
I guess he wanted to make
what's hot about a werewolf?
I guess he wanted to make a hot monster movie. I guess.
Yeah, well, there you go, and that's why I said it too. That was, you know what I mean. It kind of started that whole vibe of what was his name? Old daggum out of the sparkly vampire movie.
Well, Twilight.
Yeah, it started that whole vibe. But there were others. Also, there was others that came around before that. But this kind of broke the mold of what a vampire movie was back then. You know what I mean?
It did, and the movie invented the phrase "vamp out," which had passed into common usage on the TV series Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yep.
Corey Haim later characterized his experience on the shoot of this as one of the greatest personal times in his life. Several
I would
thousand
imagine
local,
that shooting this film had to be so much fun, dude.
I'm sure. It said several thousand local residents answered the casting call for family types, street people, punks, surfers, roller skaters, and one brain dead hippie. Some 2,000 of the applicants were signed for several nights of work on what was the largest film production ever brought to that area at the time.
Heck yeah.
So Corey Feldman almost wasn't in the movie.
Really?
Because at the time, he struggled with drug abuse at a young age and
Mhm.
showed up to work coming down from a cocaine binge. Well, at that age, that's something else, ain't it?
Oh man, how old was he?
I don't know. It's not giving his age right now, but you can look and see what what year he was born and what year this movie came out.
Oh.
But this is director Joel Schumacher was very upset that Corey kept dozing off, wasn't unable to continue filming, so he fired him. But he hired him back the next day after Corey apologized and swore to come to work prepared from then on, which he did. That's new. I wonder if there's anybody.
You know what? You know what I'm mad about?
What?
They really did start the sparkly vampire thing because because they said that they put glitter in the blood in the movie to make it to the blood. Yeah, they said that all it was in a documentary called The Blood Sucking Cinema 2007. Corey Haim said that all the blood had glitter in it to give it a shimmering effect, and it was slimier than the other. It was shinier and slimier than other fake blood.
Wow. Do you remember when they're in the video store, in Max's video store?
Yeah, that's one.
You can see it. You can see one single copy of the Goonies there.
Heck yeah, I love it.
Throwback. Now at the beginning of it, they're having that party at the fair, right? You get the saxophonist on the stage,
right?
That's Timmy Capello.
Timmy Capello.
Do you know what he made? What he made himself famous for doing?
Yeah, because we talked about this 4 times, but I don't recall.
When we talk about this?
We've talked about this quite a few times. Maybe I've talked about this. Yeah, because you asked me about that scene in the movie. We've talked about this guy before because we know him some kind of way. Was he going to be on the show at one time or something? You was trying to interview him.
Oh, I told you I was going to try to get him, but I couldn't get to him. He was on another podcast I listened to.
Yeah.
He was the saxophonist on tour with Tina Turner.
Yeah.
Basically, in her comeback tours in the mid '80s. I don't remember talking about it, but we probably did because I was trying to get him at one point. I just couldn't reach out to him.
Oh yeah, I recall for sure because I remember the specific question of the saxophone player on the on stage in this movie.
Let's see. In the end, the young and fairly unknown cast handled the prosthetic makeups amazingly, especially since many of them it was their first time. It says Greg told SWSCA, I remember Kiefer Sutherland saying, "Don't tell them I'm only 17. They think I'm 18."
There's a lot of cool little things about this movie. That's like the title is actually, we made the joke at the beginning about the Peter Pan stuff. Well, the title is actually from the Peter Pan Lost Boys because they remain forever young. And then you got the Frog Brothers, Edgar and Allan, for Edgar Allan Poe, who was the horror fiction novelist. So like there's a couple cool little things in here that are pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not finding as many trivia things in here that I like. That's been like in other movies and everything though that we usually find.
Did you know?
Quite as many.
I got a did you know? In Lethal Weapon, the first Lethal Weapon, when Murtaugh and Riggs are walking down the street talking about how Murtaugh owes a Hunsacker or whatever, the movie's marquee says The Lost Boys, this year's hit. And then Richard Donner directed that film and produced this one, and both were released in the same year.
It's funny how you see the little tossbacks to other movies they've been in and other things, right?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
That is funny. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and start wrapping things up here. We've gone over some of our favorites and stuff like that. This is my first time watching it, so it's kind of hard to pick something I didn't like because I like the whole movie, so we'll skip that part and everything. But we're going to start
Hold
wrapping
on.
things up.
Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. But check this
Hold
out.
on.
Look, look, look.
Okay, what you got?
How crazy would this have been? So I don't know how many Jim Carrey fans know this, but Jim Carrey was in an old movie in 1985 called Once Bitten.
Yeah.
It's another vampire movie too. Jim Carrey was considered for the role of David because he had previously portrayed the vampire in that film, Once Bitten. So he was actually considered to be in the lot. How terrible would that have been? I cannot see that going over. I love Jim Carrey, and he can do drama.
Then.
Oh man, he can do drama and comedy both, but I just don't see him in this one. He was out of place for me in Once Bitten.
All right, that is definitely, that's probably the best one yet.
That was pretty cool.
I remember Once Bitten. I do. That's probably the best little one, a little bit right there we had for this whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Man,
Kudos to Travis. He found
I
a
got
good one
one.
this week.
that's one in a row for you, Wild Bill.
That's right. Anyway, we'll start wrapping things up. If you guys want to send us an email, like he mentioned earlier, he wants to get something started. Should I watch Rhinestone or should I watch
I forgot already.
Edward Scissorhands?
Oh, Edward Scissorhands, yeah.
If you want to participate in such foolishness as that, you can email us here at retrolife4you@gmail.com. And I will take a look there, and I might even read some out if they get to me here. So
there you go.
Find us on social medias there at Facebook and on Instagram. And I have been in the process lately of updating the YouTube page by uploading the older episodes into YouTube. So if you want to take a look and just watch some of the things we've done, as we act goofy and stupid here while we're talking about our favorite movies of the 80s, and
time or two.
you can catch us over there. And on the website itself, retrolife4u.com, you can now also watch the videos that I have linked to YouTube already. They're linked to the episodes that we upload every week now. So
that's cool.
We'll get caught up with the old ones eventually. There's so many episodes, it's going to take me a while. But they're going to appear slowly but surely. So go to YouTube, look for Retro Life for You, follow us on there. Definitely will appreciate that. And follow us as well at your favorite place to catch your podcast, whether it be iTunes or Spotify, and share us with a friend or family member. Sharing us with just one person
follow me
out there does a great thing for us. It really helps a lot. So
follow me,
follow us.
That's from the game.
Follow me.
Abe's Odyssey. Follow me.
Well, speaking of vampires, glitter, games, and everything else, do you have anything to leave us with this week?
Yeah. Do you know why Robert Pattinson was the most trash vampire that ever was?
Why is that?
Because it took him 15 years to figure out how to turn into a bat.